Are you going to run for a third term for governor? Are you possibly going to run for president in 2028?
Well, I'm certainly thinking about running again in Minnesota if that's what they want. I am not thinking about running in 2028. And
Tim Walz, the man who would be vice president. Boy, you think the Democrats would still be firebombing Teslas if Kamala Harris were president of the United States? I think they would. I don't think there's a lot of doubt. Well, a very good Monday to you, and welcome back. We continue to be at 888-630-9625. Chuck Schumer might be in trouble. He could be in big trouble. The news media is very excited about the stock market. They want it to plunge. The CNN and MSDN say their stock market opening at 9:30 Eastern time today, and the news media is all, hey, come on, the stock market's got to plunge so we can attack Trump and say that it's the Great Depression. The Democrats would love to see a Great Depression. Whatever is bad for the United States, America is good for the Democratic Party because, those are the people that they are. Those are the kind of people they are. They are, they're not on our side. That's what they are. Not on our side. Boy, are they not on our side. Not even close. We've got that, and that was Jake Tapper on CNN, a friend of the Democrat Party, former Democrat Capitol Hill staffer, and dated Monica Lewinsky only once. I think she found him boring or something like that, but remarkable stuff. We have a great many stories to share with you today, having to do with a range of topics, and the hands off the children. It should be the hands off the children rally. Hands off our schools rally. Hands off our schools. Hands off the kids' school libraries. How about that? Hands off that. Hands off of my income. That'd be a good thing. Hands off of border security. Hands off of ICE. Hands off of the police department wherever it is you live. Let's go to this ridiculous rally. I think it even begins at soundbite number 1, which doesn't always happen. And I gotta tell you, so many wacky things. They've got a crazy Democrat congresswoman who was apparently actually elected to the House of Representatives. She's a jihadi. Her name is Ilhan Omar. She despises and disdains the United States of America, and yet she came here as a child, as a refugee. And were it not for the United States, there would be black scorpions crawling over her sun-bleached bones in the desert sands of Beep Hole, Africa. And Ilhan Omar is now a Democrat member of the House of Representatives, elected largely by Somalis in Minnesota, who also don't like the United States very much. And that's why they sent Ilhan Omar to Washington, D.C., but she's at the hands-off. It's really the hands-on rally, and the Democrats were there. They were in Washington. They were in New York. They were doing all kinds of stuff that mentally ill people do: violent, criminally insane, sexually demented, mentally ill people. Democrats. They're doing all kinds of things that Democrats do. And here is Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar from Somalia. And here's Ilhan Omar.
We are in a fight. We are in a fight for our democracy. We are currently living through a president who wants to be a dictator.
We're a constitutional republic. But, you're a member of Congress. What do I know? Isn't that amazing? Ilhan Omar. She is, what is it? Oh, yeah, not on our side. Boy, is she not on our side. But the Democrat Party, the party is not on the side of the United States of America. They're here to destroy the world. They're closest to the United States. So, that's what they're going to work on destroying and firebombing first. Minnesota, isn't it amazing? They sent her. She was born in Mogadishu, the Moog Mile. And if she were still there, what do you think she'd be doing? Well, again, scorpions, black scorpions would be crawling over her sun-bleached bones in the wind-blown sands of the desert. And then there is a Democrat congresswoman from congressman. You can't, he's got a beard, but that doesn't mean he's not a woman. If he says he's a woman, he's a woman. Maxwell Frost. That's Max Frost and the Troopers, an old band from the 1970s. They played Nothing Can Change the Shape of Things to Come, and that was Max Frost and the Troopers. Maxwell Frost is a radical extremist, racist Democrat member of the House of Representatives, and he was at the Hands Off My Pants rally, too.
Authoritarians, they're never satisfied with the power that they have. They push the limits. They break the law. If we are quiet, if elected officials are quiet, then we are complicit. And we cannot be complicit.
So they can't be quiet. I got an idea. Shut up. Shut the heck up. Max Frost and the Troopers. It's the authoritarian, the left killed and destroyed more in the 20th century when the left really rose, starting with the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution, St. Petersburg, Russia. And Bernie Sanders was there. He's the one that pushed that baby carriage down the staircase, the Potemkin baby carriage. And Bernie Sanders, Bernie the Bolshevik, as he's known to people that adore him. These people they're pushing for authoritarianism. Donald Trump and conservatives are fighting against authoritarianism. And the old Russian playbook, the Soviet playbook, is you always accuse the other guy of doing what you're doing because it just blows up the whole conversation. You can't have an adult conversation with these people. Jamie Raskin, radical racist Democrat from Maryland. Do you know that the number one employer in the state of Maryland is the federal government? Now, Washington, D.C. is next door, but the number one source of employment in the state of Maryland, not Washington, D.C., is the federal government. They surround, half of Washington, D.C., but nevertheless, notwithstanding. Jamie Raskin from Montgomery County, Maryland, very close to this radio station where I sit right now. And in Montgomery County, the number one employer is the federal government. In Prince George's County, the number one employer is the federal government. And on it goes in the state of Maryland. Jamie Raskin, he was there at the Hands Off My Genitals rally.
So we say to Donald Trump and Elon Musk, hands off science, hands off the Bill of Rights,
hands off science,
hands off Greenland, hands off Canada, hands off Panama.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you want the Chinese to control the Panama Canal, right? And these guys are communists, and they're not on our side. They're not the good guys. They're the bad guys. Hands off science. How many genders are there? Let's start with that. Because you guys put a Supreme Court justice, and Republicans voted for her, too, in the Senate, put a woman, Ketanji Brown Jackson, on the U.S. Supreme Court who doesn't know what a woman is.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No, I can't.
No.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
I'm not a biologist. Yeah, science. I don't think you guys are the party of science anymore. Boys are boys, and they grow up to be men. Girls are girls, and they grow up to be women. You guys are trying to destroy the fundamental building blocks of all societies, all cultures, all science, genetics, thanks to the patriarchy, which you disdain in the United States of America. We know all about, we cracked the genetic code. We mapped the genetic landscape. You're welcome, right? And I hope you enjoy your electricity today, too, and instantaneous global communications. In the meantime, let's go to the Hands Off My Everything. And they claim that they represent science. Ask them how many genders there are. And ask Jamie Raskin, the Lost Marks brother, how many genders there are, and watch him fall down a flight of stairs. There doesn't even have to be a flight of stairs there. Another proud illegal alien whose name, Gracia Martinez Rosas. Very, very excited to be an illegal alien at a podium with a microphone and a crowd of Democrats who don't believe in the rule of law, but they love gang members from any beephole country anywhere in the world.
My name is Gracia Martinez Rosas. I am an immigrant. I am undocumented, unafraid, queer, and unashamed.
And they go wild. They scream and they yell, I'm queer and unashamed. Nobody really cares. I don't think you're really, stirring things up either way. Any way you slice it, isn't that amazing? Charlie Hurt of the Fox News Channel went out into the streets of New York where the radical Democratic extremist firebombers, would-be assassins by the thousands, they were out there babbling incoherently, probably a lot of drugs, I'm thinking. They claim to hate Big Pharma, but, So Charlie Hurt out on the sidewalk on Saturday with all the mental cases.
The people united will never be defeated.
Clever.
What are you here protesting?
All of it. I mean, there's nothing I agree with. We're here standing for freedom for religion.
What has the Trump administration done to undermine freedom of religion?
The deportation of immigrants without warrant, without due process.
You care to tell us what you're protesting
religion?
About today? No? You don't want to talk?
Now, wait a minute. First of all, the Arab odulation, like their the Saudi tribe with Lawrence of Arabia attacking the Turkish troop train.
No prisoners! No prisoners!
Honestly, they're doing odulations on the sidewalks of New York City on Saturday. They don't know why. And what are they talking about? That they're so incredibly incoherent. They have no idea what they're protesting. And everybody's a fascist except them, and they're driving all the Jews off of campus and supporting Hamas, who are genocidal anti-Semites. And then you call other people Nazis. You're the biggest Nazis in Western civilization, and other than the jihadis that you've invited in. And all of this incoherent, ridiculous stuff. People united will never do you defeated. That's really clever. And don't and religious freedom. What, really? Religious freedom? So you're pro-life or something? No, because you'd have to kill yourself if you were pro-life. Have to do a very, very late-term abortion in the 123rd trimester. Isn't that amazing? And what's religious freedom? Oh, deporting illegals. What? Your brain is severely broken. Charlie Hurt with this 3.5% of the population formula was created by communist revolutionaries, saying the Castro's Cuban revolution against Batista. You get 3.5% of the population willing to kill and die, and you can turn it into a communist hellhole.
Hands off our programs, our bodies, Medicaid. Keep your hands out of our country.
Can you explain to me about this code 3.5 thing? What does it mean?
It means that 3.5% of the population needs to be active in order to bring social change.
I see these signs everywhere. Who did that math?
Some political scientists.
Some political scientist. And I love the hands off my body, except all the vaccines are mandatory. You just inject it into your bloodstream and you may never be the same. But Charlie Hurt with the lunatics in New York.
What does your sign say?
It says, we have the power, impeach.
Who do you want to impeach?
I'd like to impeach Donald Trump.
Why?
Well, there's a myriad of reasons.
A myriad of reasons. Actually, you would just say myriad reasons. That would be the appropriate use of the word myriad, but it's frequently misused. She must be an academic, probably Ivy League. Aren't they amazing? You know that this country was built on hard work and grit, the great American way. Whether you spend your days standing long hours, running errands, you chasing the kids, just doing your part to keep the world turning on its axis, you shouldn't have to deal with fatigue and foot pain and ankle pain, and that's where G-Defy shoes come in. G-Defy shoes are built with patented VersaShock technology. The Federal Trade Commission has authorized G-Defy to tell you and all of us that these shoes genuinely do help to relieve minor occasional pain associated with walking, running, and standing for prolonged periods of time. G-Defy shoes help to absorb harmful shock. They align your body, improve your biomechanics, and return energy with every step you take. My best girl and I, we've got G-Defy shoes. I was telling you about hiking around the cherry blossoms, wearing them last weekend, and right now you get 50% off your order of $120 or more by texting Chris, that's me, to 91888. Or go to Al Gore's amazing internet to gdefy.com, GDEFY.com. Use the code Chris there to save 50%. With G-Defy's 60-day risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Message and data rates apply. Yeah. Take the money and run. I got to tell you, wait till you hear these people. And then I've got President Trump. Held another press conference on Air Force One yesterday, covering the waterfront as usual. That's coming up. Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at washingtontimes.com/Chris. Yes. All right, let us go to the telephones, talk to the nice people, the normal people. Remember normal. Let's go to Chicago. Let's go to line 7. Mike, calling from Chicago, Illinois, listening on the great WLS. Mike, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Thank you, Chris. I'm just talking, hands off. How about hands off for Social Security? Millions and millions of illegal immigrants got the max payout on Social Security. And I think that the president and his staff, they need to just put those numbers up and show how many billions and billions were wasted of our Social Security that I worked, my whole life to build up, and everybody else.
Right.
And how about hands off for Social Security?
Yeah, how about, hands off? Really, it's we should be the ones telling the left hands off of everything from children and genitalia to our tax dollars to our border and everything they touch turns to something that I can't describe here because of FCC regulations. But a very good point, Michael. The Democrats, and it's true, the Doge, they despise Doge and Elon Musk, and they loved Elon Musk until a minute ago. Boy, when they turn on you, they really turn on you, don't they? And they used to love it, then they hate it. And the Teslas, now they're firebombing them. The Democrat Party, and it's true, get your hands off of everything left. Yes. The Democratic Party is pro-Hamas and anti-Semitic. The Democratic Party wants the stock market to crash because stock market crashing would be good for the Democratic Party. What's bad for America, what's bad for the world, what's bad for humanity is good for the Democratic Party. Just amazing. Amazing times that we're in. That's for sure. And I want to share with you, I think we still have to beep some of it, but one of our great friends, Corey Ingenamort, his last name is Ingenamort, used to be Ingenamorte, a nice Italian name, man who defies death. But at Ellis Island, they took his final E away, so now he's just Ingenamort. And he's got a boat, and I've talked about him before. He's got a pontoon boat, big pontoon boat, and goes up and down the Potomac River, the mighty Potomac River, with big Trump flags and stuff. And he counts all the Democrats that flip him off and yell obscenities at him and things. And this weekend was a great example of that because we had the Cherry Blossom Festival, and the Cherry Blossom 10K run. And I'm going to share that with you coming up. We've got to clean it up, though, because the Democrats, they're potty mouth people, violent, firebombing, rifle-toting, shooting at, lately, mostly Tesla dealerships and so on. But ask Congressman Steve Scalise and Donald Trump, because the Democrat Party, they're completely berserk. Nuts, I'm telling you. Nuts. And we didn't play that last, and we don't need to. You like number 9, or does number 9? Yeah, it's boring, isn't it? Number 9, soundbite number 9. That one's too boring. We'll just skip that one. We do have President Trump on Air Force One, where he once again answered all questions from all comers, and Joe Biden, he didn't do any of that. Oh, speaking of which, I played audio for you a little while ago of an illegal alien proudly declaring at the Hands Off My Whatever march across the country that she's an illegal alien and a lesbian, and that's all she wants us to know about her.
My name is Gracia Martinez Rosas. I am an immigrant. I am undocumented, unafraid, queer, and unashamed.
She's queer and unashamed. She's undocumented. You're here illegally. We pretty amazing stuff. And that woman, she did this public thing over the weekend at their Hands Off. I think she's safe. And it turns out that she's a close personal friend of the Biden White House, and she's been to the Biden White House more than once for events. In fact, there are photographs that have emerged of her. She's standing with the President of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden, and the Lizard King, Chuck Schumer, at the White House. And then in a completely different gown, dress, at a different event with a rainbow of rainbow-colored balloons. I'm guessing it might have been an LGBTQ illegal alien. Would that be LGBTQIA? See, illegal alien. But they already do that, don't they? The IIAA, whatever. But she's been to the White House repeatedly, the illegal alien. The brazenness of her then going out in public and screaming, I'm an illegal alien and I'm a lead. Nobody cares, if what you do in the privacy of somebody else's home in the country that you've stolen or whatever you're doing here. But it turns out that this woman is a known entity because she has been to the Biden White House at events with the President of the United States in the past, just last year. Gracia Martinez Rosas. And I got to tell you. Oh, and also our friend Corey with his pontoon boat and his big flag this weekend. The flag that he had this weekend was of the face of ICE Director Tom Homan. Tom Homan. A giant, and it's the biggest flag. It must be a 10-foot flag or something, at least an 8-foot flag with Tom Homan's face on it, and it says Ice, Ice, Baby on it. It says Ice, Ice, Baby. And with the big face, and he's smoking a cigar, and he's got sunglasses on. And we were trading this back and forth yesterday because it's funny, and the Democrats really don't like funny. They are, what is it? They're unfunny. They're not at all funny. They're completely insane. And violently, criminally so. But the fun, and one of the guys that there was the 10K run for the Cherry Blossom Festival. My best girl and I, we watched the fireworks. That was Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. Fireworks out our window from home. Great fireworks for the end of the Cherry Blossom Festival. But the Democrats, they're crazy. They showed up, and one of the guys mooned, mooning, right? Mooned them on their boat because he's got a pontoon boat with a 10-foot flag with Tom Homan's face, with sunglasses on, and it says Ice, Ice, Baby in giant red letters. And then just below that, there's a 6-foot Donald Trump flag, rather. Oh, no, it's the Doge flag, the DOG Doge flag, with the Trump colors. And it was pretty funny because the crazy people couldn't help. They couldn't just jog by and wave, and our friends are waving at the Democrats jogging for the Cherry Blossom Festival. And these are normal people on the boat, you know, and they might be having a beer and having some snacks, and they're motoring around on the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, the seat of freedom on the planet Earth, and the violent mob of lunatics. Now, we still haven't fully cleaned all that up, so I want to make sure that we clean all that up because, it's Kurt. You just give me a thumbs up? Is that right? Okay. And there are videos that are being posted all over Al Gore's amazing internet. Now, there are some things to know about that. I've got a 29-second video, a 14-second video, and then this one. Oh, there it is that one's another 15-second video, and great stuff. And then one of the guys, again, while jogging the 10K run, the guy pulls down his pants and moons. He's jogging, so he's in jogging clothes. He's got shorts and a T-shirt, stops and fully moons the boat going by, and that comes up in the course of conversation. Now, the great thing about this, the really fun thing, is that Corey and Gannemort and friends, and my best girl and I have gone on the boat with them a number of times on weekends and down to Mount Vernon for the fireworks display and good stuff, wonderful stuff. And they count the number of times that liberals flip them off and curse at them and yell at them and stuff, right? That's the whole point of the exercise. So the Doge flag and the Tom Homan flag, just wonderful. And the Democrats are jogging, and it's the Cherry Blossom Festival 10K run. And I got to say that they show what they're made of at every turn. And also they keep track, because last year at the Cherry Blossom Festival, they had, I think, like 130 people flip them off. And this year is 460 people or something. So I think they're angrier, more insane, and more likely to pull their pants down in public. With a bunch of kids around there, kids all over the place, and the Democrats are pulling their pants down. It's what they do. That's the stuff. But our friend Corey and Gannemort, and it's on Twitter and all that good stuff. Why did the runners of Washington, D.C.'s Cherry Blossom 10-mile, is it a 10-mile or a 10K, whatever it is, 10M, not like my Tom Homan and Doge Elon Musk flag? The joggers are cursing up a storm. What you do? And again, there are little kids all over the place, and they're cursing up a storm. Angry, and women, too. They've got young women who are screaming, and they're cursing, and they're pretty amazing stuff. And this year, much more crazy than last year in terms of number, anyway. And I got to say, you guys, you're truly mental. And they can't just, it's a boat going by, and they can't contain themselves. They have to scream and curse and yell and say, vulgar things and pull their pants down. Gotta bleep them up. Have to bleep, gotta bleep, and they're screaming. And it's a boat. It's truly mentally ill. And what we're dealing with in the United States, I think, is like a war against the mentally ill. And the mentally ill are winning. That's one of the things. Yes, Kevin Tober texted me yesterday afternoon, said, last year's Cherry Blossom Festival run was 181 middle fingers. 181 middle fingers. And this year, they're all more furious at us, and a lot of them stopped running and ran to the shoreline to curse and scream at us. This time, 469 liberals, self-described liberals, flipped off people on a boat, on a pontoon boat, because there was a flag of Tom Homan saying, "Ice, ice, baby," and a flag that says Doge. So 469, and one of the fun things they do, like they bring a counter like you're at a baseball game, or you're like checking people in at a festival or something, and they count the number of people and they laugh and open another beer and have a nice time, and it's great. The police on the police boats, you wave at them and they wave back and everybody's nice. You got normal people out there, and a number of people on boats are good normal people. Not everybody, but a number of people on boats are good normal people. But Kevin Tober pointing out that, and Corey asked him to hop off, get some good pictures and get little video clips of what's going on. And yes, 469 leftists flipped him off this year. Last year, 181 leftists did the same, but this time they're being complete crazy people. The mooning.
Oh, yeah. He just mooned us, a 60-year-old. Children present.
A 60-year-old man surrounded by a crowd of children and families doing the 10-mile or 10K, whatever it was, run for the Cherry Blossom Festival. And here's a 60-year-old white guy pulling his pants down and mooning a boat going by because he's just in the spirit of the Cherry Blossom Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mooning. There he is. Isn't that great? Just wonderful. Just wonderful. Aren't they amazing? Man, oh, Manischewitz, I am telling you. Yes, sir. Let's grab a phone call, Michael. Let's go to, let's see. Let's go to, Let's go to Rob calling from Montgomery County, Maryland. Robert, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Skip, good happy Monday to you.
Why, thank you very kindly. Welcome. Uh-oh, what happened? Did he just drop off?
A lot happened.
There you are.
Down your way. Boy, I'm glad I don't live in D.C., I'll tell you. I don't think I could handle it. I was up, not hugging trees, but I was picking a delicacy called a morel. I was hunting morels this weekend. And I thought to myself, I have to worry about ticks, in the woods.
Yeah.
And these people are not, they're worse than ticks, but when we all have spam on our telephones and things like that, and we eliminate it, block it.
Yeah.
These people, to me, have become like spam. It would be nice if we could find a way to make them all go away. And with Gavin, this thing with Gavin, I used to, years and years ago, I thought, boy, it would be nice if California, if they'd have that final earthquake and let it kind of float out into the Pacific. It looks like he's really he's pulling for that. This guy.
They are the party of the Confederate States of America, and they're not on the side of the United States. And I don't know what happened to their brains, but we've got generations of leftists in the United States, and I think they must have all gone to the same colleges and universities, and they came out with all the same thoughts, and if you can call them that, and they're demented. They think everything is okay. Firebombing is okay. Shooting places up okay. Donald Trump and the baseball game with Steve Scalise in Virginia and so on. They're violent. They're crazy. They're angry. They're mooning people. They're flipping everybody off. They're screaming at each other. They're attacking Tesla automobiles and Tesla dealerships violently in mobs and as individuals. The Democratic Party might have to be declared a terrorist organization. What do you think?
Chris, yeah, two more things. I don't think these people would ever graduate to hugging trees. I don't think they would be tree huggers. I think the trees would try to get rid of them.
Honestly, and so you're out in the woods and you're picking mushrooms. You're hunting and picking mushrooms. That's nice. That's peaceful.
Away from people.
Yeah.
Away from these people.
Yeah, these people. These people. Man,
Chris,
yes,
have
sir.
a wonderful week, and thank God for you, man, and President Trump, and Holman, and all the people that are trying to keep the country from imploding.
You're a wonderful American. I appreciate your call and your attitude, and you got it just right. You really do. I've got to say, Rob, you've got it just keep laughing, to mock them. Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals, I believe it's rule number 5, is ridicule is your most potent weapon, and your enemy, and they consider us their enemies. Can't recover from ridicule, and ridicule is very appropriate when it comes to these people. It's the most generous thing we can do also. Rob, God bless. Thank you very much. Nice call. Well, the stock market has been going wild today. The Dow opened down about 1,300 points, which is not good, but not the end of the world at the same time. And about an hour later, the Dow was up 200 points and more. And there was a rumor that President Trump was going to pause the idea of tariffs being imposed on other countries. And then it turned out that rumor was not necessarily a true rumor. And there was billionaire Bill Ackman who suggested, hey, maybe you should tap the pause button on the tariffs and see what happens. And the stock market rose very, very rapidly for a brief period of time. And then, oh, no, that's just bourgeois. That's not real. So then back down 800 points or something. But it's going up and down. And the Democrats, they want chaos. They want mayhem. They want to shout obscenities and break things because they're mental and they have a lot of issues with gender and science. They're bad at science. Oh, they had these big science awards over the weekend, too, in Santa Monica, California, Greater Los Angeles Metroplex, and they turned into a Hollywood affair. And it's they're giving out, and the people getting the science awards are real. They're molecular biologists and things like that. But Democrats don't know what gender is, and they don't know what sex is. They don't know, except with children or something. But that's about it. And that's all crazy. Man, oh, man. Also, I'm getting updates from the people that were on the pontoon boat over the weekend being mooned and cursed out by the Cherry Blossom Run people. And they were yelling things like, hit an iceberg, you Titanic piece of beep. All right, got to clean it up there. Get out of my city, you beeping fascists. They're fascists. I'm sorry to hear about your small beep. Kind of them. And how's your portfolio? Beep. So they're heavily invested in the stock market. They must be 1%ers.